my name is Risa Febriani Aulia Nisa, and my student number is 1220112333042. First of all, before we start to talk deeper about the phonology, we are going to talk about the definition of phonology. We can see it through two perspectives. First, phonology as the mental representation of linguistic knowledge. It means the mental grammar of the speaker of a human language. Then, the second is phonology as study of linguistic branches. It means speech pattern or speech sounds as a system in human language. So, phonetics used as the raw materials in phonological analysis. Then the expert in phonology called as the phonologists. They are responsible to first make explicit statements about the sound patterns of individual language. Second, discover general principles and or the phonological rules that underlie the patterning of sounds in human language, and give abstract representation of the sound system. Next, we are going to talk about phonological knowledge. Phonological knowledge is a set of the speech sound in the language that speakers know. It allows the speakers to produce all the phonetically different sounds in language, pronounce the speech sound in different contexts, identify contrast sound in the language, recognize foreign accent, and know the possible speech sound combination in a language.
My name is Alvina Nuraeni and my student number is 1220112333046, and I will explain the next module that is about phonemic analysis. Before we go to the further explanation about the phonemic analysis, let me explain about the introduction of this chapter. The first is segments. In studying speech, there are small pieces of the continuous stream of speech sounds that are called segments or phones or sounds. As we know, we have learned about segments in phonetic before. So, segment is another way to refer to the individual speech sounds that make up syllables. Now I have some example. Please pay attention to this word and notice the difference in each sound. The first is key and cat. Key and cat. The second is skin and Scott. Skin and Scott. And the last is sick and mic. Sick and mic. They are sound ke. They are sounds that are the same, but they are actually different. Those sounds represent phonetically different speech sounds. And let's take a look at the first sounds in key and cat. They are the k sound. You can hear that they are aspirated when we pronounce key and cat, and is written with a diacritic that symbolizes the aspiration. The second is the skin and Scott. The second sounds in skin and Scott are the k sound, and there is no aspiration when we pronounce this sound. The last sound in sick and mic are the k sound. They are likely to be unreleased, so there is a diacritic that symbolizes no audible release. In the mental construct, those three k sounds are classified together. It is an abstract unit or the underlying phonological unit of the sound k, namely the phoneme uk. In other words, the k, and k sounds are the physical representation of the phoneme uk. The further explanation about the phoneme will be presented by my friend later. The next is about the two levels of representation of speech sounds. Speech sounds can be presented at two levels. They are phonetic level and phonological level. The phonetic level specifies all the features that are needed in the pronunciation of the sound and the more abstract phonological level, while the phonological level represents only certain non-redundant features. Let's pay attention to the example. Here, I will take p sound in pill, and spill as the example. Phonetically, at the level of pronunciation, these two sounds are different. The p sound in pill is accompanied by a slight puff of air that is called an aspiration. So, it is an aspirated p sound. In the word spill, the p sound is not accompanied by aspiration, so it is an unaspirated p sound without any diacritics. At the more abstract phonological level, these two p sounds are the manifestation of the same underlying phonological segment, or we call it as phoneme. So the p and p sounds are the two phonetic segments or allophones derived from the same phonological segment or phoneme up. The next material will be explained by my friend. Thank you.
My name is Febrinda Setyo Damayanti with student number 122011233035. I would like to explain about distinguished phonetic segments from phonological segments. Phonetic segments point to any systematic difference in pronunciation. For example, in the words pill and pill. It have different in pronunciation, p sounds with aspiration and p sounds without aspiration, but still have the same in meaning. And then phonological segments point to those that make a difference to meaning. For example, in the words pill and kill. It have difference in pronunciation, p sounds and k sounds, and also has different in meaning. Phonetic differences that change the meaning are often called distinctive. What is distinctive in one language may not be distinctive in another. What is a phoneme? Phoneme is a constructive sounds unit of a language. This is an abstract representation and it is not something that can be pronounced. Phoneme is not a speech sound itself. It is a symbolic representation which allows us to relate specific speech sounds to each other, and also recognizing their phonological sameness despite their phonetic differences. Phoneme can distinguish words and they represent differences in meaning. A phoneme is a phonological segment that is also written in a phonetic alphabet symbol within two slashes. If a sound difference gives rise to a meaning difference in at least one pair of words in a language, then this sound difference is phonemic in that language. For example, in English, in a pair of words pill and kill, the phoneme up and uk are different, which are phonemic in English because both of them result in different meaning. Although phonemes distinguish word meaning, they do not in themselves have meaning. Phonemes, while having no linguistic meaning, bear relevant phonological information. That's all from me. Next will be explained with my friend. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chica Friskilla with Trilha student number 044. I will explain the next material about how to determine phonemes. To find out whether two phones are allophones of the same phonemes or not, we have to find out whether they are contrastive in language. We establish phonemes by means of commutation test, finding minimal pairs. What is minimal pairs? Minimal pairs is pairs of words that differ in meaning, contain the same number of sound segments, but differ in one sound only. For example, bat and pat. The minimal pair is in the initial consonants b and p. Second example, sin and sing. The minimal pairs is in the final consonants n and ng. And next, how do phonemes relate to the phones of phonetic level? Phonemes are representation of set sounds that are phonetically similar and whose differences can be explained. Allophones of the same phonemes are phonetically similar sounds that do not contrast with each other. Allophones are not contrastive, predictable, and in free variations. Allophones are not contrastive or distinctive variants of phoneme. Next, allophones are predictable, it means it conditions by phonetic environment. And last, allophones are in free variations. Phonetically different sounds may occur in the same environment without changing meaning.
Here now is Yuliatu Rohmah with student number 122011233047. And now I'm going to talk about phonemic transcription. So, do you know what is phonemic transcription? Phonemic transcription represents all and only relevant sound differences. It expresses no redundant sound differences. A phoneme may in English spelling be presented by different letters in different words, and the conventional spelling of English words fail to correspond one-to-one to phonemes. Here are some examples. The phoneme spelled as in sing and in sing, and the next one is the phoneme th and th, both spelled as in thigh and thy, and the next one is the phoneme sh. It's spelled as sh in shy, double s in mission, te in friction, and ce in ocean, and the last one is the phoneme j. It's spelled as tg in edge, g in chin, ge in pigeon, and j in chim. An adequate phonemic transcription must follow three principles. The first one is phonemically systematic. It must be phonemically systematic by having a separate symbol for every phoneme, and of course, by using the same symbol for each occurrence of a given phoneme. And the next one is free of redundancies. It should be free of redundancies in its symbol inventory. And the last one is phonetically explicit. It should be phonetically explicit as possible, for example, by using symbols in accordance with established phonetic conventions. For example, the principles of the International Phonetic Association, or IPA. The last two principles are in conflict. The second one might be compromised by the third one, and vice versa. Different authors use different transcriptions, depending on whether they come down in favor of simplicity, that is, lack of redundancy or lack of explicitness. To sum up, a phonological analysis entails two levels of representation, a concrete level or phonetic level and an abstract level or phonological level. The analysis in the phonetic level involves phones which are inserted between brackets, while in the phonological levels involves phonemes which are inserted between slashes. They are determined by using commutation tests or finding minimal pairs.